Hello. Okay, can you get out of here? Okay, hold on. Hi. I had an on-screen keyboard that was out for some reason. Did my headphones get unplugged? Okay. Okay. Yes. I'm back. I went on vacation, so my whole setup got all mixed around, but now I'm back. I have a cough, which is terrifying. I mean, not like a bad cough, just a little tickle. I got a tickle in my throat. Expect me to cough probably once every couple minutes. We were in here. We went to this big thing, and it's been a week, so I'm a little rusty, but I think I remember this pretty clearly. Oh, cool. I can watch back. I didn't know if I actually wanted to do this for real. I'm just gonna skip it. Sorry. But we watched a record of how this town Camlon was destroyed. We learned that Saray was just a dude, a baby who happened to be there and survive. Mikleo, our beautiful bunny boy, Mikleo, was the son of the previous shepherd, Michael, who got burnt at the altar. That's another seed that this game planted, which was later explored in Tales of Berseria. This seems like this texture was not supposed to be here, and maybe was supposed to be 2 feet further that way. Oops. But yeah, I've been away for a week. Had a pretty good vacation. It just wasn't very restful. It was a busy and exciting vacation, but not restful. And now I gotta come in here. I'm not ready.
You're back.
What are you doing here?
Oh, I just wanted to make sure the monolith doesn't get damaged. Your thoughts?
Is that a monolith?
Everyone involved was fully in the wrong, but no one was really right either. That's how it felt to me.
A useful understanding to reach. Now, your answer.
Saray, let us hear your answer to this.
My answer is I want to save Heldolf. The shepherd's job doesn't just boil down to quell the Lord of Calamity, or even clean up the previous shepherd's mistakes. When malevolence consumes seraphim and turns them into hellions, we save them. Yet when it brings misfortune and grief to humans, we say they only have themselves to blame. It doesn't seem fair.
So that is your answer.
Don't know if it counts as one. There are humans out there just like Heldolf. He just happened to play one part in a cascade of terrible events.
A series of unfortunate events.
Sympathize with him. But I will say, it would strike me as bizarre to completely let him off the hook for the horrors he brought to such a peaceful village. And what he's trying to do now is still messed up, right?
Absolutely. It's wrong, period, and I will stop it.
But even so, you would save this man?
If I won't save humans like Heldolf, who've had Hellianhood thrust upon them, I'll never see humans in Seraphim live in peace. I see. So then you...
Really are an idiot. Yep, Saray is Saray, and we love him for it.
Wilkus
That's
Wilk.
right. He couldn't be anyone else even if he tried.
So, Mr. Teller, that what you were looking for? For such a man, ending his loneliness would be the sole path to salvation. Do you understand what that means?
taking his life, I would expect.
Saray, can you carry that burden with you?
Indeed. That, even more than your answer, is the crucial matter.
important now is whether you truly will not waver. Or rather, whether you truly believe in your answer and are willing to accept its repercussions.
No matter what happens, and no matter what cost.
Wait, are you asking him to prove his determination in battle?
Not ready for this.
Yes.
We'll see.
In order to defeat one who has been abandoned in time.
I remember this being very hard.
Show that he's done.
Defeat the one who's been abandoned in time. You can't be talking about how to sever the bonds of strength.
So eternal loneliness is a curse, you say? Makes sense now.
Old man,
Now, show me!
I just, my recollection of this fight the first time I played it is that this was a super, super hard one. Which, you know, maybe, I don't remember it taking me more than like 3 tries, but I just remember it being difficult.
what would happen to you?
Do you see why it is you waver?
Well, he just threw an attack in the middle of nowhere. Oh, goodness, my stagger time. Gonna eat an apple. I'm gonna split up because I don't really want to be like that. He's a person. Do I have any moves that are good against people? I don't think so. I think that's generally the hard thing about people, is that there aren't a lot. Maybe there aren't even any moves that are good against him, which I think is what made this fight quite difficult. Did I, sorry to keep pausing. Hey, did that guy just throw a rock at me? I should have let her finish casting. She was almost done casting a pretty hard spell, or a long spell. That would have helped to finish. I don't know if that was the play, Lila. This has not been super hard so far, but I'm not very deep in this fight yet. And Rose just got paralyzed. Oh, Saray is also paralyzed. He's quite hard to combo because his you can't really power hit him, so you're just kind of banking on him not staggering. Oh, I was in a long enough combo where I didn't have to have 3 bars to do that. I didn't even really mean to do that. I was trying to do a chain. Yeah, like that. I couldn't really do much there. Ooh, jeez. Let's, I can use a grape gel here. I'm holding the shield button, but it just killed us all. Yeah, I do remember that. I am... Let me make sure that's actually on. Where is it? It's one of the defense ones, right? Or is it... Yes. Damage from Mystic Arts can be halved. I don't know if I had the right timing. Alright, let's run it back. I'm not exactly sure what they're talking about. Am I supposed to know what the bonds of strength are? This might have just been because I missed a week. I haven't played this in, yeah, a week. A little over, 8 days or something. But I'm not totally clear on what he's talking about. I'm just gonna have an apple. See, sometimes they just don't do anything. Sometimes just nothing happens. I'm gonna switch Lila out for Edna. Why don't you do that? Can you stop? Leave my man alone! I really don't want Saray to die. Okay, that's fine. That is okay. I can live with that. I really didn't want him to die because he had 4 bars that he was not using for some reason. I should have just switched to control him and used the 4 bars. But as long as I'm not like actually dying. Like, as long as I'm not literally dying to his Mystic Art, I'm not gonna call that a loss. Stop saying this is for you. Whoops. I'm in danger. I'm gonna take this time. Oh, I dashed one too many times. No, I didn't want to do that. Here. That's what I wanted to do. I got it. I hit the thing. Okay, yeah. I hit the thing in time. I'm not sure. I think he was just aimed away from Mikleo, so Mikleo was okay. So I'm not sure how much it actually matters to reduce damage from that, because I'm pretty sure it kills me no matter what. Oh, I was so close to hitting him with the vine, to just killing him with the banish blast, which would have been cool. I was so close to it.
So you really are immortal?
You understand by now, don't you? The way to defeat me.
Yes. Turn my friends into attacks with wills of their own, and use those attacks to pierce through the bonds of strength.
What Dezo said he did.
Then why aren't you doing it? I'm not a Hellion. Even if you make use of that means, your friends will not be consumed with malevolence. You won't admit it. After all, to demonstrate that method upon me is tacit acknowledgement that it is your only option when held off as well.
But Mayvin, isn't there any other way at all?
No. Even Lila's power is not enough to purify one as consumed with malevolence as he is. You should know that.
Saray. Rose.
If you weigh lives on scales, you will falter at the crucial moment. All the more so if it is your friends' lives in question. But if you do waver, and your wavering leads you to a faulty answer, you may never recover. In this way does virtue become vice.
But if you will die for the answer you truly believe in, even failure will not stop you from rising again. What you should fear is not failure, but rather that fear itself will compromise your belief in your answer.
Lila.
Can't tell if...
Now then, Saray.
If you intend to make this a farce, then I shall end it. Show me, not just with words, but with the spirit of belief. I shall end it.
I paused. I think that's just a cutscene. Not pause. I blocked.
It's a damn shame, Lava. Unfortunately, it looks like they still don't understand. So, it was all for naught.
No, just a little bit more. Even when they resented their own helplessness, even when they grieved for a fallen comrade, even when evil schemed to lead them astray, Saray and his companions have pushed ever on, never losing themselves. Knowing fear, but not malevolence, they came all this way to stand here together.
You're really something.
I don't like having regrets, and I don't like giving them to other people either. Don't you forget it.
Saray, Rose, paralyzed or something? Being up against Hellions is already life or death. It shouldn't be new to you.
Edna. Zavid.
It's just as they said, Rose. Saray. Do you remember what I told you? Back at Lady Lake?
Gonna have to be more
You've
specific.
come all this way just to be a liability.
Okay, yes, I do
I said
remember
it
that.
before. Do I need to say it again? No.
If the shepherd Saray truly believes in his answer, then surely may he bring an end to the age of chaos.
Then show us. Show us your answer.
Saray!
Everyone.
It's kind of cheesy.
You have good friends, lad.
Darn right. Let's go.
Come at me!
Okay.
Mayvin! This is
My gun! You shot him. What did you think was going to happen?
I thought I could hold out until you finished it, but
Mayvin?
Oh, I'm so sorry it came to this. You're an idiot too.
you're not wrong. But I have no regrets.
What's going on? What are you saying?
Come on!
It's because I violated the taboo. If the user breaks the terms of the oath, the special powers granted by the oath likewise vanish.
You should have told us.
Please, do not blame Mama. She merely did what she believed was right for all of you. And it was my decision to make as well.
I believe too. In my answer. And in my friends. And for their sake, I will not waver in what must be done. So there will be no regrets.
It is time to say our farewells.
I promise. I'll never forget what you've told me, Mayvin. And I'll teach it to others as well.
So you...
What big ears you have.
Never did I imagine I would die with others by my side. Thank you.
Boom. No. Not the pipe. Okay, well, that was sad. So, I think the bonds of strength are a...
Let's go.
It seems like some sort of metaphysical... This is something that I don't remember. Like, it's not a very good name, for one.
There should be a road there leading to Camelot. We saw
But it seems like it's a metaphysical
Oh, that makes sense. So Camelot was close to Elysium.
construction.
That fits with the idea that it was a strategically important location.
Yeah, good point. But it looked to me like the road to Camelot was sealed off.
It's a metaphysical feature
I told you I'm not going to cry.
that makes things immortal.
This is the final battle. Let's end this.
And so what the gun is able to do is able to use its bullets to disrupt that. That's legit. What did I get? Shepherd's outfit trial. I remember this, I think. Oh no, it's just the music. It's the recolor. He has a recolor that I quite like. Let's try it. What the hell? You know what? I'm sick of the elf ears. That went pretty well. I think everyone was alive for it. Pretty sure everyone is alive for it. Although it doesn't look like we got a lot of XP. Kind of my fault. I didn't read the recap that was just on screen 2 seconds ago. Anyway. The gun is able to sort of disrupt things. It's a magic gun. However, because it's out of bullets, you have to fire Seraphim.
So if we cut the tie between Nautilus and Heldolf, we'll be home
Yeah,
free,
it
right?
forcefully de-armatizes
He's strong
things.
enough to use the earth itself as a vessel.
Severs
And that really
things
all it
from
takes.
Right. We'll probably have to
the
purify
magic
all the malevolence
that is
attached
connected to
the
it.
land as well.
Is that right, Layla?
She sells
It will
seashells by the seashore. Yep. She sells seashells by the seashore.
He's got to be doing that on purpose.
Originally, he was the one who would purify the land. His power was the blessing of the land itself.
Like a natural purification of sorts, huh?
Don't think that's gonna be enough this time.
Certainly the activities of the shepherds also contributed to the Earth's natural purification from the outside. But now it's just Saray, and no one else.
We need to have a plan of action before moving on. But all the same, we can't sit around brooding all day.
For sure.
Oh, great. Oh, great. There's more. I should maybe sleep at the inn. Let me check out this this purple star. So that's what it's trying to say. You know, I can't tell if the writing is just sort of intentionally a little unclear, which is okay. Oh, this is just telling us that we can come look at iris gems here. Okay. You know, I'm a proponent that game writing does not have to be thoroughly explanatory of everything. Like, oh, this is new. This is new. We haven't seen this one before. This is good old Michael and Lila sitting in a tree. Purifying. Yeah, but I don't think every single thing needs to be spelled out. You know, I'm watching a Danganronpa playthrough right now. And at least I cannot speak for the second or third games in that series. But man, they just really don't like there to be subtext. The main character will say, huh? What? As many times as needed until the character you're talking to has fully explained everything. They will just get into the brass tacks about very simple concepts that the reader could probably figure out without much difficulty. So, like, I'm not sitting here saying, can they explain what bonds of strength are and how they work? I just can't tell if the game is being a little bit vague about that on purpose, or if there's just something that's lost in translation. Either literally lost in translation from Japanese to English, or if there's just some there's some piece of communication that I'm missing. That's what I can't tell. If I were sure that it's just being vague, no problem. I'll think. I'll figure it out.
We were being pursued. He lent us a hand. He even showed us to a hideout without asking any questions.
You must be talking about Tintagel ruins.
Yep. But I never thought the inside would be like that. What? If you got something to say, spit it out.
I just thought that maybe he approached you because he knew you had high resonance. As in, like, he was out to gather information as a storyteller.
Oh, that sort of stuff, huh?
That sort of stuff?
Yeah. Doesn't matter to me what he was after. He helped us out, and we had a lot of fun together. That's all that matters.
Do you think so, Saray? He might have had the same intent with reaching out to you, too.
Doesn't matter to me either. To me, Mayvin is just the man who taught me what it means to be an explorer.
Got a problem?
Hey, ease up. You guys are making me look like the bad guy.
You kind of are.
I wouldn't worry too much. You always worry.
Yeah, exactly.
Break.
I like what Zavid does for this game. You know, when I first played through this game, I remarked. So, one, I think Zavid's a very different character in this game compared to in Berseria. And that's in part, like, I can point to, like, I mean, his position on killing things is just different in this game than it is in Berseria. there are reasons in his backstory why that, you know, in his 1,000 years of backstory, that aren't, unfortunately, will not be fully explained because it's, I think, New Game Plus exclusive, the thing that I really want to do with Zavid. Anyway, there are things that that kind of explain that in fiction, but in the meta reason why Zavid is like that is really interesting, because like Zavid in this game is by far the biggest asshole of the six of us, right? And that's because Saray is such a lawful good kind of guy, you know. And even Rose, who's an assassin, is pretty good. She's maybe, I wouldn't even call her chaotic good. She might even be neutral good, you know. They're all pretty unambiguously good. So Zavid, who's just a little bit of like a chaotic neutrally kind of person, just seems like a total asshole. I would put him pretty firmly at either true neutral or chaotic neutral. He's in that zone. I don't even like D&D alignment charts that much, but I think this illustrates the point very clearly. In Berseria, where you're playing as, I mean, again, this is the reason why I don't really like D&D alignment charts, because I don't think I would call Velvet chaotic evil without an asterisk. But at least in D&D terms, Velvet is chaotic evil, and most of the party is like certainly on the chaos axis, but I would say trending towards neutral and evil more than good, for the most part. Again, asterisks necessary because the world doesn't operate on two axes the way D&D does. Anyway, I just find it so interesting because in Berseria, Zavid is like constantly nipping at your heels, kind of being this sort of moral compassy character, which is so weird compared to him in this game, who is like the opposite of a moral compass. But it's just because of where he is relative to Saray and to Velvet, of like compared to Saray, he's an asshole, but compared to Velvet, he is a goody two-shoes. And I think that's... So, like, despite the fact that he's changed as a character in between these two games, his role in relation to the other characters is also very different. I think that's pretty neat. How he mixes in with these with both of the games, how he plays a role. Oh, we just need to find Heldolf, huh? Well, what do you say here? I have a feeling I know where Heldolf is. Let's start. Can I? Yeah, I can't teleport to Lady Lake. Where can I teleport? Nowhere. So I'm walking. Let's go to the Camelot Bridge, I guess. Yeah, I think Zavid is like... Even in the 2 or 3 years since I've played this game, I don't think he's quite so cool as I used to think. But I still think he's a great character. Like, I feel like there's a... It does sometimes feel like... I've put a heavily Zavid inspired character in my TTRPG campaigns, like very heavily Zavid inspired,
Would you like some?
to the extent that I mean, his last name was Zedea, which is Zavid's true name. Zavid's true name is Filk Zedea, and I'm like, this character's name will be Will Zedea. So like super heavily inspired by Zavid, and I really struggled in that TTRPG to really get what makes Zavid tick through to the other characters. Like, I don't think I completely had it at the time. And I regret having kind of fumbled that character. But I do think he's like, there's a lot. So the thing with him is a lot of his like actions are just gonna seem not random, but just like hypocritical. He's a very hypocritical seeming character. There's a lot to him, or like contradictory. He has a lot of these contradictory feelings and actions to his character that actually make sense with his worldview. And I think, like, understanding his worldview to the extent where his actions no longer appear contradictory is something that's really hard to do, but I think you can do it, and it's just so hard to communicate. I tried to communicate it in my TTRPG campaign, and I don't think I did it well enough. And so, and I regret that. I'm not sure, so I'm not sure I could do it now either. There's another wolf? Okay. I'm not going to be able to get away from this one. Yeah, like, I don't know if I could, I'm not sure I could really sum up in words what makes Zavid Zavid to me. I think part of it, I think one important part of it is that one thing's for sure is that he always knows more than he lets on. He's not the type to just sort of exposition everything he knows. And so, like, even as the player, you're kind of just guessing, what does he know? And what does he not know? Because he's been around a while. He is likely the oldest character in this game. I don't think we have an age for Lila. But I mean, he's literally... there's a line he has in this game. He calls Mautelis... we've already passed this line, and I kind of joked about it. He calls Mautelis, like, Mautelis, god of everything. Like, the big G. He calls Mautelis a baby boy, because... because Zavid is older than him, literally. So, you know... he's not just a dude who walks around shirtless for shits and giggles and kills things when he feels like it because he thinks Hellions should die because he's just an asshole. Like, there's stuff going on in this character's head that that he just doesn't spell out the way some characters in JRPGs spell out everything. Okay, I'm gonna go for this little sylphid, because I do not want to deal with it. Jesus Christ! This is why I hate these things. It just one-shot me. But yeah, Zavid's morality, I just think is complicated, and it doesn't help that it changes somewhat between Berseria and Zestiria. So like locking it down is not something that you can do easily. But I just think he's a fascinating character to think about.
That was pretty good, Shorty.
Being big is for losers. Big losers.
Which makes sense to hear coming from Edna, considering she has chosen the form of a small child, sort of. You know, we've seen skits already about how seraph growth and metabolism is kind of based on how they envision themselves. Please don't. I'm so close. Thank you. I thought it was going to catch me. I was real worried. There's a war coming on, eh? Yep. Listen to them laugh. What?
This is bad. If any more malevolence collects,
That's probably exactly what he wants.
Hey, it's a turtles.
Let's go take a look. Sounds like it's around Glaven Basin.
All right. I finally found where he's located.
Hey!
careful. You okay?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have skipped that text. I thought that line was over, and then he just went.
But it's time to settle the scores. Gotta hurry.
Oh, not the cat's corner.
He's going to Cat's Corner, huh?
It's the illusionary village where cats live.
Might become a huge cat and turtle free for
So, I wonder.
I've never heard of
I
him.
don't know.
We're gonna have to do something.
Good idea. Guard,
Oh God. I don't know if I want to do this. I do, but I don't. But do I? I do. Kind of. I might be able to warp now. I actually probably could have warped here. Now that I'm thinking about it. I wasn't going to go through all of these and seeing exactly where I'm supposed to warp. But I may be able to warp now to Volgren. Yeah. Nice. Well, this does leave me. I am a little bit at an impasse where this is about to be like a big thing. I actually think I finished the game this week, depending, because I don't want to start this Glaven Basin thing. I'm gonna go to town. and just gonna see what's in town. Maybe we hear more about Cat's Corner. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just call this a short episode. Hey, something happened. A big boss fight happened. That's not a waste. But Glaven Basin is going to be a whole thing that I don't really want to stop. And I don't know if I can stop 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes into it. I mean, I'll try not to spoil, like, I won't spoil specifically what's going to happen in the next episode, but you may have noticed I have, oops. I have remarked the last couple times we've gone to Glaven Basin, I've been like, I wonder if something's gonna happen here. Forgetting when it was that exactly that this happened, and this time I'm positive that it does.
Saray is an admirable shepherd. How could I?
Do you think he can win against Heldolf and Mount Tellus?
Tell us. Should I read your palms? Oh, you have girl trouble.
So it was that easy to tell, huh?
Now tell us. Yeah, I very well, I remember this thing at Glaven Basin happening, and so every time they've sent me back to Glaven Basin, I'm like, oh god, is it gonna happen? This time I'm pretty sure it is. Finally. Because we've had, I don't know how many false alarms. But I'd rather not start it right now, I guess. I will sleep. Let's have some beef.
So this thing was a tool used to defeat the Lord of Calamity.
The gun?
Well, whatever it's for. Mount Tellus and Heldolf all fused together. It stands a chance of working.
Zavid, did you willingly give it to Saray knowing that information?
Oh, snap. You got me figured out. Not. Just thought that'd be cool to say. It's like I told you, just a hunch. It's not like I'm some kind of prophet or whatever.
I mean, what exactly is
I like
this
his handshake
thing?
belt.
How did you get it?
Just picked it up somewhere. Where, you ask? I forgot.
Oh,
It's
sure.
hard to swallow that it's just a coincidence, don't you think?
Well, believe it, don't believe it, whatever. That's how the world
This is what I was saying about,
All right.
you know, Zavid just doesn't spill his whole backstory here. He could. He could.
creates chances for certain things to happen. You wanna know what they call that? Destiny.
Destiny, huh?
Well, in any case, it's yours now. How you use it is all up to you.
Whether what happens after you pull that trigger is coincidence or destiny.
It is up to me, huh?
I do think that's one of the benefits of this game having a this game was made knowing that the next game was going to be a prequel, and I think a benefit of that is that they didn't have to go through all this exposition about what Zavid and Edna's lives were like. You know, they didn't have to spell all of that out. Compared to say, and like no hate to these games at all, but Tales of Symphonia, Regal. We don't know everything about Regal from the jump. He's a mysterious character at the beginning when we first meet him. But by the end of the game, we know basically everything that happened in Regal's life. We know basically everything that happened in Genus's life. We know basically everything that happened even in Kratos' life. Kratos, sorry. God of War ruined me forever. Now I say Kratos, even though his name is Kratos. And I actually like Kratos better because it more accurately represents the Greek word Kratos. It just God of War ruined me. Anyway, you know, like, it does not leave things unanswered. And as a standalone game, that I can understand why some people think that that kind of weakens this game as a standalone, because I don't know, maybe Zavid just seems kind of poorly written. Like, what's going on with this guy? When he's not like a fully... So I came here because I'm looking for the Guardian Seraphim, like you. Oh no, I'm afraid not a cat. I'm not a... She's not a cat, she's just a cat. A lightning user who went to their village frequently. Wait, who's a lightning user? Who do I know who's a lightning user? I don't know. I don't pay enough attention to the Guardian Seraphim to know who does what. It could be the guy in Marland. I vaguely remember him being blue. The guy who stands next to attack by the big tree. Someone who's going to be like either blue or yellow. Or not blue or yellow, blue or green. But yeah, So I see both sides of... Let's check out this place too. Why not? I don't know. I see both sides of, you know, not everything being kind of explained, and there being intentionally loose threads that get tied up in the prequel.
I remember this place was in the Celestial
Do
Realm.
you? Where? A tree? And I just never looked at this before? You're not a lightning user. Social status. Interesting. And I probably cannot go to Marland. Yeah, I can't go to these places yet. Did I really see nothing in Landgris? Hold on. Did I really not? Where is the Guardian Seraphim here? There is one. And I thought it was over here. What? She's right here. It just showed up. It literally, I was just looking at the map and there was nothing here, and then it just showed up. Okay, well, thank you for that. Alright, I'm gonna walk over to the basin and then I'm gonna end the episode. But yeah, I don't know. I like that there are that this game has, like, even though I don't think the story is great, I think the characters have layers to them that I don't know, that I quite like.
This aroma.
I think Zavid is a great example of that. I think Edna's a great example of that. Those two especially, because they're the ones who are, like, directly involved in both games. But even Saray, even though Saray isn't a twinkle in his mother's eye in Zestiria, and Rose, Saray, simply by being a counterpart to Artorias, becomes more interesting as a character in my mind. That's what I have to say. Alright. Whew. It's hot. I didn't cough too much. Bye. Wait, hold on. I gotta alt tab before I say bye. Bye.